Today we're sewing a pair of underwear that you can put together in under 20 minutes. After you've made your first pair, I'm sure you'll want to make a bunch more to fill your underwear drawer. Each time you do it, you'll get faster and faster. These are the Wendy Knickers by Wicked Patterns. There are a few views offered for this pattern, giving you a few style choices, as well as the option to add bands or fold over elastic. If you're interested in sewing a few pairs using the fold over elastic, I do have a separate tutorial on this channel showing you how to use that method, and I'll link it here. The underwear that I'm sewing in this video requires no elastic. You'll want to use fabric with a lot of stretch and good recovery. For the main construction, I am using my serger, but if you're using your regular sewing machine, I would recommend a lightning bolt stitch for all of those main seams. And then to top stitch my seam allowances down, I'm using my regular machine and a triple zigzag stitch. This gives me a nice clean finish on the inside and an almost decorative stitch on the outside. I hope you're ready to dive right into this quick and easy project. Let's get started. Place one of your gusset pieces right sides together with the bottom of your back piece, aligning those raw edges. Take your remaining gusset piece and place it underneath these two pieces, so that the right side of this gusset piece faces the wrong side of the back piece. Align all of those raw edges and pin in place. Sew or serge with the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now that one side of the gusset is attached, open out both gusset pieces away from the back piece and roll the back piece toward the gussets. Then we'll place those gusset pieces back on either side of the back piece. So now the gusset pieces are on either side of the back piece, and the back piece is right side facing you. Take your front piece with right side also facing you, place it in between the gusset pieces, aligning all 3 layers of raw edges and pin in place. Sew or serge with the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now we can pull those main pieces out from in between the gussets. And then place the front and back pieces right sides together. Pin the side seams. Sew or serge the side seams with the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Fold each of your bands in half right sides together, matching the short edges. And pin in place. Sew or serge each seam with the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now we're going to fold each band in half wrong sides together and mark the 1/4 points. Doing this for the waistband and both leg bands. Starting with the top of the front and back pieces, I'm also going to mark the 1/4 points. Take the waistband and match it right sides together with the top of the front and back pieces, pinning at each 1/4 point. I like to place the seam of the waistband with one of the side seams. The waistband is pinned in place and we're ready to sew it all the way around with the 1/4 inch seam allowance, stretching that waistband slightly from pin to pin for a perfect fit, being careful not to stretch the material of the front and back pieces. Now the waistband is attached, and we can repeat the entire process to attach both of the leg bands. First, 1/4ing the leg raw edges, Now that I've marked the 1/4 points, I'll place the leg bands right sides together with each leg opening, matching the 1/4 points and pinning in place. Sew the leg bands to the leg openings with the 1/4 inch seam allowance, once again stretching the band only to fit between each point. All of the bands are attached, and you could optionally choose to tack down those seam allowances, pressing each of your seam allowances away from the band, and then using a twin needle, a cover stitch machine, or your regular sewing machine and a triple zigzag stitch, you can sew those seam allowances down about 1/8 of an inch away from the original seam line, doing this for each band. Give everything a nice press with lots of steam around those seams and your Wendy knickers are complete. Thank you for watching this sew along. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss notifications every time a new full-length sewing tutorial comes out. And I'll see you in the next video.